BBOR Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. BlackBoxNid88 on Instagram for the bonus podcast. And welcome to BBOR, the home of true crime talk radio and your premier destination for unsolved mysteries, criminal psychology, and exploring the dark side of cyberspace. My name is Ned DeHaan, and I am your host, as well as the creator of AstroPsych 400 here on YouTube, and regular contributor to the Zodiac Killer channel. And a great way to support these shows is just by listening to some more content. But you can also go over to Amazon.com and have a look at the book Killer on a White Horse, written by me, Ned DeHaan. It is a novel, murder mystery, inspired by the Zodiac Manson connection, but it is indeed fictional. However, who doesn't love a good mystery? And there is always the TeeSpring page. Feel free to check out some of the merchandise. And remember, being weird is not a crime. Let the show begin. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this special bonus episode of Black Box Online Radio. If this is the first episode that you've heard from this channel, every Monday I do a regular segment about the Zodiac Killer called just that, Zodiac Mondays. And somebody sent something into the email address, blackboxonlineradio@aol.com, that was perhaps some material for the show, giving a shout out to Bruce, who sent me a packet of 14 articles about the Swindle murders from 1964. This is a possible Zodiac crime, what some people call a pre-Zodiac murder, because the Zodiac was a serial killer that operated in 1968 and 69, but some people believe that the first Zodiac murders occurred much earlier, perhaps the 1962 murder of Ray Davis, the 1963 murders of Robert Domingos and Linda Edwards, and the 1964 murders of Johnny Ray and Joyce Swindle, which I'll be talking about today. But because Bruce sent me these 14 articles, I simply wanted to create an audio version of them. And this video is not monetized, and it's not even going to be a commentary piece on my part. Instead, it is only going to be a reading of the articles that were written after the murders of Johnny Ray and Joyce Swindle, because I think it's always valuable to look at and listen to what people were saying at the time that these crimes took place. The first one was written on February 7th of 1964. It's called Psychopathic Sniper Hunted in Two Slayings, and this one was written by Pliny Castanian. Police said yesterday a young sailor and his bride may have been shot to death by a psychopathic killer. Because the sniper slayer may still be at large in San Diego, Police Chief Wesley S. Sharp requested the public to help find the slayer. The couple was killed yesterday night in Ocean Beach. Everything in the investigations of this double murder points to a psychopathic killer. We need all the help we can to get more information from the public to locate the killer and his weapon. The sniper moves in. Detectives said the two were first shot from a distance. Then they said the sniper moved in closer for fatal shots, and he was carrying a .22 caliber weapon. The victims were Johnny R. Swindle, age 20, and Joyce Swindle, age 19. And I will just point out that in this exact same article, when they show a photo of Johnny Ray Swindle, the photo of him has a caption that says that he was 19, and in the text of the article, it says he was 20. I mean, the exact same news clipping, kind of odd. They were found on what is called the patio area of Silver Spray Apartments at 5116 Narragansett Avenue, overlooking the sea. She was dead. He died 2 hours later in a hospital. An open box of Valentine's Day candy was found on a ledge above her body. Detective Inspector O.J. Reed said Swindle had bought the candy for his bride at the Ocean Beach store 30 minutes before they were slain. Last night, 18 detectives headed by Lieutenant Raymond Hubler continued the search for weapons and clues. Hubler was called into the investigation after recently being promoted to lieutenant and transferred from homicide to narcotics detail. The bulletin in head. An autopsy revealed Mrs. Swindle died instantly when a bullet struck her in the back of the head. Other bullets had hit under her left arm and in the left side of her back. Swindle was hit in the left ear, right upper temple, left thigh, and left side of the back. 7 .22 caliber bullets were found in the bodies of the two, and 7 empty .22 caliber shells were recovered at the scene. 5 casings were also found 50 feet up the cliff. And that is the first article that was published. The next one is from the San Diego, California Saturday Morning News, and it's called Hunt Pushed for Sniper Slaying Clues. And this one was published on February 8th of 1964. Guns tested, copters scan roofs, police chief lauds public aid. Police yesterday used ballistics tests, helicopters, and old-fashioned shoe leather in an effort to uncover clues to the sniper slaying of a young Navy couple in Ocean Beach Wednesday night. Police Chief Wesley Sharp said the shootings apparently were committed by a psychopathic killer. For this reason, it is important for the public to provide information which may help uncover clues, Sharp said. The chief assigned several additional uniformed units to the Ocean Beach area for several days. He said they would ensure greater protection for residents worried about being on the streets at night. 6 detectives yesterday checked information supplied by citizens in a response to Sharp's appeal for assistance Thursday. The response is gratifying, Sharp told a reporter. The citizens can save us hours of house-to-house work. We will sift through every lead a citizen furnishes and hope that one day we will zero in on the killer. Guns sought. 25 other detectives canvassed the Ocean Beach area door to door. They asked residents to voluntarily surrender guns of .22 caliber for ballistics testing by police. A .22 caliber gun killed Johnny Ray, age 20, and Joyce, age 19, even though this posts something else, 18 days after they were married. The next one, snuffed out by sniper, Johnny and Joyce lived a quiet life till gunfire intruded, and this one was written by John Wood. They lived in a group of apartments called Paradise Court. It was less than 2 blocks from the sand at Ocean Beach. The neighborhood is just 100 other neighborhoods. A hamburger stand on the corner, small groceries, service stores, the unmistakable smell of salt water in the air, and a never-ending swoo to your ears from the white waves. Johnny and Joyce Swindle were typical of many young Navy couples who moved to San Diego. They were married in a small Alabama town when she was 19 and he was 20. Johnny had not finished high school before joining the Navy, but had worked hard to help support his widowed mother and her 5 children. He had been in the Navy for more than 2 years and had flown back to Alabama to marry his high school sweetheart. The couple left for San Diego soon after the marriage, for Johnny was to go to Alaska for duty. In July, he planned to re-up for 6 more years. Johnny and his bride of less than 2 weeks chose an inexpensive furnished apartment near the ocean, for which they loved. They had been there for a week. Wednesday night, the couple took many walks on the beach. That week, it gave them a chance to cool down and be alone with the sea breeze, and they could talk freely and stretch out and even yell if they wanted. Johnny and his blonde wife were standing together, leaning on the rib-high wall, looking out toward the ocean, when they were shot and killed by a sniper. Apparently they had no warning. No one has found a reason. Early Thursday, their 3-room apartment was filled with policemen. All were in plain clothes except a big sergeant who was nearby searching, and he reached the low ceiling. His crash helmet had hung awkwardly in his big left hand as he talked in a low voice. The others pored over the couple's belongings on the chest of drawers, an end table in the closet, and a big stuffed blue bear that sat on the floor beside the faded couch. The bear, the kind of one that you would win at an amusement park for knocking over wooden bottles, was still wrapped in cellophane. In front of a rough lounge chair in the living room was a paint-by-numbers set. One of the paintings, a poised ballerina, was filled in on the head and outstretched arms, but the rest of her was a maze of blue lines with tiny numbers. The painting was propped against the chair on the floor. A used brush lay flat across the other painting beside it, with the top on to keep from drying out, and there was a small glass jar of brown paint. The ballerina will never be finished. The next one is from the Sunday morning edition of the newspaper, and this one was from February 9th of 1964. Detectives sift leads in slayings. A squad of detectives has assigned in the search for a psychopathic sniper who killed a young Navy couple in Ocean Beach yesterday, concentrated on a mass of information supplied by the public. We now have 10 detectives supplying leads to us by the citizens, Detective Sergeant Edward C. Stevens of the Homicide Detail said. This information center in Ocean Beach concerns reports on persons and their movements in Ocean Beach Wednesday night when the slayings occurred, and sought. Police Chief W.S. Sharp had asked the public to assist by supplying any information persons may have which will help the police investigation. Johnny Ray Swindle was 20 years old, and his bride, Joyce Ann, was 19. They lived at 5073 Voltaire Street, and they were killed by bullets from a sniper with a .22 caliber rifle on a walk along the ocean at the foot of Narragansett Avenue. Stevens said house-to-house canvasses in Ocean Beach were being conducted by detectives, and they had been completed. Response good. We have detectives in the area, but they are investigating information supplied to us by citizens. The response has been wonderful. We are particularly interested in finding all of the .22 caliber guns in the area for ballistics testing. Mrs. Swindle was found dead from 3 bullet wounds, and her husband was found dead from 4 wounds. Police have been unable to find the weapon nor learn the motive, and clues have been meager. The next one is from the San Diego Union, February 12th of 1964. Double killing probe turns to 7 bullets. This is also by Pliny Castanian. Police homicide investigators yesterday were leaning heavily upon their only physical evidence in hopes of solving the slaying of the young Navy couple in Ocean Beach. 7 hollow-nosed bullets may hold the key to who killed Johnny Ray Swindle and his bride Joyce Ann on the night of February 5th, as they strolled along a sidewalk at the foot of Narragansett Avenue near the beach. The 7 bullets cost less than 14 cents a box, and the boxes of 50 bullets can be sold for 90 cents. They are .22 caliber long rifle hollow point bullets of the type commonly used by hunters. At 50 feet, they would be deadly. It is the hope of police now that modern criminal investigative methods in the absence of the death weapon will reveal the type and make of the weapon. Police have the help of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Laboratory in Washington. They have reached the opinion that the death weapon was probably costing between $50 to $60 new. The ammunition was made by the Remington Peters Company. Police yesterday in Phoenix, Arizona, were asked to send them one of the .22 caliber shell casings found at the motel where a retired Illinois man was killed on a Friday night. And the next article is from the San Diego Union, February 11th of 1964. It is called Ocean Cliffs Searched in Sniper's Death. 5 police officers spent yesterday walking along the ocean cliffs in an effort to uncover any new evidence in the sniper slayings of a young Navy couple. Johnny Ray Swindle, age 20, and Joyce Ann Swindle, age 19, were shot as they strolled along the patio at the foot of Narragansett Avenue. Sergeant Edward C. Stevens of the Homicide Detail said that officers had searched the general area for any additional shell casings. The next one is also by Pliny Castanian. Police still baffled in 2 murder cases. Police homicide detectives are working to solve 2 murder cases. One on the morning of January 7th, a maid found the body of Dr. Alex S. Barnum, 40 years old, a neurosurgeon at his home, 3715 Rescroft Lane, Point Loma. An autopsy established that Barnum was strangled. His hands and legs were taped. On the night of February 5th, a sniper's bullets killed Johnny Ray Swindle, age 20, and his bride of 3 weeks, Joyce Ann, age 19, as they strolled along the beach at the foot of Narragansett Avenue. Case recalled. Until these two cases, the police homicide detail had only encountered one unsolved murder in 4 years. This involved a $138 robbery of Crow's Nest Locker Club, 104 F Street, on September 24th of 1962. An employee, Welford Thompson, age 54, who was assaulted, probably with a hammer, died of head injuries. He passed away on October 6th of that year. In the 13 years from 1950 through 1963, of the 169 murders in San Diego, all but 13 were solved, an average of one unsolved case a year. Detective Inspector O.J. Rode is the officer in charge of the investigations in the Swindle and Barnum homicide cases. Rode, in an interview, indicated that in the Barnum case, investigation is still underway. A suspect arrested on a murder complaint was later released on grounds of insufficient evidence. Suspect released. This suspect was David A. Henson, age 21, a former San Diegan who was arrested on January 11th in Salt Lake City. He was released on January 28th. On February 6th, Henson was arrested again in Salt Lake City on charges of robbery and grand larceny. Lieutenant Norman D. Hayward of the Salt Lake Sheriff's Office said Henson was arrested on a complaint charging him with robbing a service station of $67 on February 8th of 1963. Hayward said the victim identified Henson as the bandit after seeing his picture in the Salt Lake City newspaper when he was arrested in connection with the Barnum slaying. Rode said that we are not looking for anyone else in the Barnum case. Rode said that police never found two things stolen from Barnum at the time of the slaying: his wallet and the keys to the doctor's sports car, which was found parked outside the $40,000 residence where the body was discovered by the maid. The Swindle murders are still being investigated by a team of detectives. The next article is from February 23rd. Sniper slaying probers seek ex-resident. Man, 42 years old, wanted for questioning but isn't a suspect. Police disclosed yesterday that they are looking for a 42-year-old man who moved away from Ocean Beach or near to the day a sniper's bullets killed Johnny Ray Swindle and Joyce Swindle, ages 20 and 19 respectively. Detective Sergeant D.C. Stevens of the Homicide Detail issued a bulletin to all San Diego officers containing a description of the man. He was identified as Charles Thomas Mirich, M-I-R-I-C-H, also known as George Woodside, and he used the nickname Woody. Not a suspect. Stevens emphasized that Mirich is not a suspect in the sniper slayings. He said that the bulletin was issued for two reasons: because Mirich moved to Oceanside on or near the day of the slayings, and because police have not been able to locate him for questioning. Stevens also disclosed for the first time that Swindle's wristwatch and his wallet, containing his Navy identification and an Alabama driver's license, are missing. Police believe Swindle was wearing the wristwatch and carrying the wallet when he and his bride of 1 week were shot from ambush near the seawall at the foot of Narragansett Avenue in Ocean Beach. Request made. The bulletin issued by Stevens asked officers throughout San Diego to contact the new homicide detail if they knew anything, or if they knew of anyone with access to a .22 caliber automatic rifle or 22 caliber hollow point ammunition. Both victims were shot repeatedly with an unidentified .22 caliber weapon. After 18 days of investigation, detectives found no motive for the slayings. People are trying to locate 4 persons whom witnesses saw at the beach around 8:15 p.m. on February 5th, when the Swindles were shot. They include a young couple on the beach at the foot of Newport Avenue, a middle-aged man at the foot of Narragansett Avenue, and a man wearing tennis shoes who was standing on the rocks near the death scene. And I really wish that article would have continued more, but on to the next one. Sadly, that one had somewhat of an abrupt ending. Sniper slings probe quiz for beach visitors. Futilely. 4 persons were in the Ocean Beach area where a sniper killed a Navy couple on February 5th, and they were questioned yesterday by the police, but could give no clues to the detectives. The 4 contacted police after reading a story in the San Diego Union that the police were seeking persons known to have been near the scene but not identified. A rifle was used. The Swindles, Johnny Ray Swindle, age 20, and his bride Joyce, were shot repeatedly with a .22 caliber rifle as they strolled along the beach at the foot of Narragansett Avenue. Detective Richard D. Ewens, EWENS, said the 2 couples talked yesterday and told him that they were at the beach that night on February 5th. He said that they added no information. Ewens said that the 2 couples whom he identified as college students lived in Point Loma, and said that they left their homes about 6:30 p.m. on the night of the killings and returned home about 9 p.m. The Swindles were killed at about 8:15. On beach in car, Ewens said that one of the couples on the beach north of the scene and the other in the car in a parking lot at the foot of Newport Avenue. A 42-year-old man who moved away from Ocean Beach on or near the day the Swindles were killed is still being sought by the police for questioning. He was identified as Charles Thomas Mirich, also known as George Woodside, and he used the nickname Woody. Detective Sergeant E.C. Stevens of the Homicide Detail emphasized that Mirich is not a suspect in the slayings. And the next one is a continuation, but it's from March 4th of 1964. Police have been unable to find a motive for the slaying. In Boynton Beach, Police Sergeant William R. Hamilton said Gambrell told him, "I killed my mother first, and then my sister, and then went to the bedroom and killed my father." After the killings, Gambrell said that he drove the family car to Port Pierce, Florida, and then abandoned it. Hamilton said Gambrell told him that he pleaded with his parents and wanted to get a passport so he could get out of the Marines and return to his native Ireland. His parents refused. And that definitely seems like it's unrelated to the Swindles, or loosely related, but the next article should fill us in on that. Sniper killing quiz asked in axe death, and we'll hear more about this guy, Gambrell. San Diego police said yesterday that Joyce Ann also requested that a Marine who is absent leave from the Marine Corps recruiting depot, and he should be questioned about the double murder of a Navy couple here last night. He is being held in Decatur, Illinois after admitting to a triple axe murder of his family. The Marine, Private First Class Michael Lee Gambrell, was arrested Monday in Boynton Beach. He was armed with a .22 caliber pistol and a switchblade knife. Decatur police returned Gambrell to Illinois last night. He is charged with the murder of his father, Everett, age 49, his mother, Eileen, age 46, and his sister, Annabelle Lorth, age 13. The victims were murdered with an axe while sleeping in their beds. San Diego police became interested in Gambrell as a possible suspect in the sniper slaying of Johnny Ray and Joyce Swindle on February 5th. That night, the Swindles were slain on the patio of the Silver Spray Apartments, 5116 Narragansett Avenue. All we know is that Gambrell is and was in San Diego when the double murder happened, and that he was armed with a .22, said Sergeant Edward Stephens of the San Diego Homicide Detail. There is nothing connecting him with the murder. Stephens said the Illinois police will investigate Gambrell. A Marine Corps spokesman said Gambrell signed out on liberty at 7:30 p.m. February 5th and reported back at 10:30 p.m. Police said the Swindle murder occurred at 8:35 p.m. But you'll remember that one of the other articles estimated that the Swindle murders occurred at 8:15 p.m., and maybe that 20 minutes is going to be crucial in some ways, but this is the time when this guy, Gambrell, was out, Michael Lee Gambrell. He then walked up to the wounded couple and shot them point-blank range. That's the real killer, not Gambrell. Police found 5.22 caliber shell casings on a nearby hill. As you heard from the first snippet, it appears that there has been a motive identified for the triple homicide, and that dealt with this guy Gambrell wanting to get out of the Marine Corps and move back to Ireland, and there were some family disputes about that. But this is from the San Diego Union, March 7th, 1964. Sniper slaying of 2, denied by Marine. The young Marine accused of killing his parents and sister with an axe in Illinois has denied an Ocean Beach couple murder on February 5th. Police here were told yesterday San Diego police had asked Decatur, Illinois authorities, who were holding Marine Private First Class Michael Lee Gambrell, age 19, in connection with the axe killing, to question him about the double slaying here, shot near the beach. Johnny Ray Swindle was 20 years old, a sailor, and his wife Joyce Ann, 19, were shot to death as they stood near the beach at the foot of Narragansett Avenue. Gambrell is listed as absent without leave by the Marines. A Marine Corps recruit, depot spokesperson, has said that Gambrell was on liberty February 5th from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Police say there's nothing here to connect the Marine with the shootings. And then there is an article that is from March 10th of 1964. Ballistics link ruled out in 2 killing cases. Ballistics tests show a pistol that was owned by a young Marine charged with killing his parents and his sister with an axe in Illinois was not used in the sniper slayings at Ocean Beach, police said yesterday. Tests run in the police laboratory here show that the 2 shells in the casings sent here by Decatur, Illinois authorities do not match the bullets that were used to kill Johnny Ray and Joyce Swindle, Sergeant Ed Stevens said. Stevens said that the expended bullets and casings were found from a .22 caliber pistol found on Marine Private First Class Michael Gambrell, age 19, when he was arrested in connection with the axe killings. And that goes on for a while, but I think those are the major points. Recluse checked in sniper killings. That's the next one. Then this is published December 3rd of 1964. A man picked up in a hobo jungle in Santa Ana is investigated in the oceanfront sniper murders in Ocean Beach and Santa Barbara. The man held in Santa Barbara is George Edward Gill, age 50, a recluse sought since the bodies of Linda Edwards and Robert Domingos of Lompoc High School were found on June 4th of 1963 in a shack on a lonely beach 30 miles north of Santa Barbara. Moving on to an article from January 10th of 1965. This one is by Jerry Marcus, and it is called Sniper Slaying Still a Mystery After a Year. The week before Valentine's Day last year, a 20-year-old sailor named Johnny Ray Swindle bought a $1.75 box of candy and walked 2 blocks with his bride to admire the ocean. They walked to the end of the patio at 5116 Narragansett Avenue, Ocean Beach, where the swirling surf laps at the base of the cement wall. One of the last things Johnny Ray Swindle ever did was to place the box of candy behind the wall which the couple was shielding. It was a moonless night as they looked upon the ocean, shot 5 times. Atop an ice plant-covered hill about 50 feet away from Johnny Ray and his 19-year-old wife of 2 weeks, Joyce Ann, somebody aimed a rifle at their backs and began pulling the trigger. The trigger man shot them 5 times from his vantage point on the hill. He then moved down to the patio to shoot them twice at close range. The Swindles were shot 4 times. Swindle was shot 4 times, and his wife was shot in the left arm, the back, and the head. So, differentiating between the 2 of them. The couple was found at 8:35 p.m., 40 minutes after Swindle purchased the candy from the drugstore. So, just to add a moment of clarity, it seems like they're saying that 8:35 is the time when they were found, which would make sense that 8:15 is a plausible time when the murder occurred. A woman in the area named Mrs. Marcy Shields of 5014 Santa Monica Avenue told police that she heard two shots and a man heard a scream. Someone was saying no, no at about 8:30 p.m., and the police said that probably this was the last thing that the couple had said. So maybe even after 8:15, maybe 8:30 p.m. on the night of February 5th. Mrs. Swindle was dead when a resident in the area came upon the scene. Swindle died in a doctor's hospital at 10:15 p.m. He never uttered a word. The police were nearly clueless from the start. The police made house-to-house searches in Ocean Beach and collected dozens of rifles. The Navy sent frogmen to scour the bottom of the ocean to look for a murder weapon, and hundreds of leads were followed and dropped. Today the police are still looking for the killer and the weapon, as well as a motive. Swindle's mother, brother, and three sisters, who live in Jasper, Alabama, and another sister in New Orleans, could not give any reason why someone would want to kill the couple. And the final article is called Beach Slayings of Couple in 64, Still a Mystery. And this is going to be a later article. It was published in 1972, Sunday, January 16th, 1972, and it was written by Jim Watkins. The young couple walked on the beach as they had done for a week. She liked to watch the sunset and listen to the surf pounding against the sand. He liked to be with her and stand silent in the moonlight. It was February 5th of 1964. At about 7:30 that evening, Navy radioman Johnny Ray Swindle walked into Adler's Pharmacy at 4991 Newport Street and purchased a box of candy for his blonde-haired wife of 19 days. The two of them walked to a cement patio near the rear of the Silver Spray Hotel at the foot of Narragansett Street in Ocean Beach. They opened the box of candy and stood near the seawall talking as they listened to the surf and the washing of waves against the shore. Girl dies instantly. At 8:15 p.m., the first of 7 bullets ripped into their bodies as they stood there listening to the sound of the sea and dreaming about the future. So it appears we have one estimate of the murder occurring at 8:15, but if it is true that those screams were heard at 8:30 p.m., that would push the crime back 15 minutes. Thus began one of the most bizarre unsolved murder cases in San Diego history. Joyce Ann Swindle, age 19, died instantly from a bullet that crashed into her back. Johnny, age 20, died 2 hours later in a doctor's hospital. The sniper first fired and hit his victims from about 50 feet away. Then the police believe he walked up to his victims and fired one more bullet at them close range. Officers found .22 caliber shell casings at the foot of the cliff and from the patio, and 2 more near the woman's body. No gun has been found. The victims were discovered by a passerby. The murder scene is 9 blocks away from where they lived at 5073 Voltaire Street. Joyce was wearing a black leather jacket and plaid capris to ward off the cold of the February dampness, and was found lying face down on the concrete patio, Johnny on his side between her and the patio's 4-foot retaining wall. The only physical evidence police have are 7 hollow-point .22 caliber bullets taken from the bodies. The seven are worth less than 14 cents, and an open box of Valentine's Day candy found sitting on the seawall ledge. Police said that any hope of finding further evidence on the ice plant-covered hill was slim because newsmen and spectators had trampled the scene before the police determined that the shots had come from the hill. There were no footprints which could be identified as the killers. Wow, so that will bring us to the end of these news articles, and most of them are from the San Diego Union. However, big thank you again to Bruce for sending this to me. And anybody can write the show at BlackBoxOnlineRadio at AOL.com. And again, I really just wanted to do this as a reading of some of the news coverage of the Swindle murders from 1964, possible Zodiac crime. I'm sure you probably already have some things that you would like to share, and I'm 100% sure that you've noticed that there are some inconsistencies in the articles, and I don't think that that is anything that we should be shocked about, because in an unsolved case, I mean, trying to pinpoint the exact time of the murder is going to be something a little bit difficult. I do notice one particular consistency, and that is that there is no motive for the crime. Johnny, Ray, and Joyce don't seem to have any enemies, and I apologize for any types of jumbling words or misstating anything. And other than that, I would just like to ask you, do you have any suspicions about the Swindle murders? What did you think about the article that says that there is some type of hypothesis involving the Domingos Edwards murders and the Swindle murders, and it's the same person? What did you think about that story of the axe murders being connected to the Swindle crimes? And you can share anything you want in the comment section down below. Or if you would like to even dispute some of the facts that have been made in these inconsistent stories, then you are also welcome to do that. I really wanted to read the articles as they were, and just to create some type of audio version of them. But any feedback, any comments, any type of ideas, welcome in the comment section down below. And in addition to the email address, you can also get me on Facebook. My personal Facebook is in the description box. And there is always BlackBoxNed88 over on Instagram. And rest in peace to Johnny Ray and Joyce Swindle. And I think that's where we will conclude the episode. So until next time.